Hello everybody, welcome to Know Your Money. I'm Bronwyn Wayner.
And I'm Craig Finch, and we are from Growth Financial Planning. We hope you enjoy our podcast.
Hello everybody, Aldu from Discovery Health Medical Scheme. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio. Bronwyn, good to see you again.
You too.
And this time of the year, everybody's medical aid started for the new year, and we'd like you to please give us the enhancements that Discovery has done for the new year. And I think there's a little bit of a change because April is a time when the plan goes up. You're not increasing it just as yet. So there's quite a good feature before that we'd like you to tell our viewers, please, Aldu.
Oh, thanks, Craig, and thanks for having me as well. You're spot on. Our contribution increase was deferred from 1 January to 1 April. It was quite a nice benefit to give back to the members as well. By doing this contribution deferral, we actually gave back about 1.5 billion rand in reserves to the members by just extending this contribution period. I think what is important though for members who haven't made their plan decision yet, that they will be able to increase their plan to buy up to a higher plan if they still want to before the contribution increase kicks in on 1 April. But across the whole Discovery Health Medical Scheme, we've made so many exciting new benefit additions. I think the key one to call out is definitely the new plan series that we've introduced. It's called the Smart Saver series. That's almost like a specific new segment in our plan range that we've introduced. And for those listening who's familiar with our plan option structure, that's in essence a new plan series sitting between our Smart option and our Saver option. So a lot of people would say why more options? We already have so many options on Discovery Health Medical Scheme already. One thing that was interesting that we picked up is that we don't really cater for young families as we should be. There's almost a gap in the market in terms of making sure that our products speak to the young families, especially as we have more affordability pressures and the economic times and these hardships that young families are facing. So the intent of the new series that we created was really to say, how do we actually create a new benefit structure that specifically speaks to the unique healthcare needs of our young families? And that's really where our health R&D team came up with the new series, the Smart Saver series. So in essence, what we picked up in our research, which is quite interesting, is that not all families are the same. It's interesting because when you almost look at their day-to-day needs, we find that young families typically rely on things like seeing a GP, getting medication, going for a dentist visit and optometry visits. That's almost uniform across all of the families. They all have those typical needs. But when you look at their specialists, almost that secondary level of care, the type of care that they seek there is very unique. Some families require, for example, an ENT, where others go for gynae visits, where others have almost more orthopedic needs if they almost engage in sports and things like that. So that's almost a less standard type of benefit that we see families seeking. What was very interesting though is just young families take control of their health much more than the average older family typically does. So going, for example, for VHC checkups, engaging in digital platforms like personal.
What's VHC?
Oh, thanks for flagging that. So going for vitality health checks, so just a normal wellness check, where you take your blood glucose, your blood pressure, your BMI, and those health metrics.
So the younger people do that more than the older people?
Yes, okay. Yeah. I think the rate's about 20% more than what the young families typically engage in these type of actions than the average family. So it's quite significant in terms of them taking ownership proactively of their health in comparison to the other type of families that we see on the scheme. And that's exactly these insights that we've pulled together to create our new Smart Saver series. So it comprises of 2 plans. We have an essential Smart Saver plan that we introduced and also a classic Smart Saver plan. So similar to the Discovery Health Medical Scheme ecosystem, there are differences between these plans. The essential one being almost the entry-level type of plan, where the hospital cover differs. It pays up to 100% rate of the Discovery Health rate, but the classic plan would pay up to 200% of the Discovery Health rate for in-hospital specialists, for example.
Also network-based.
Yes, yeah, thanks. That's important to flag. Yeah.
On both plans, network
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So for those familiar with our current networks, the Smart Hospital Network and the Smart GP Network, both of those networks also apply to these plans. It's a very broad
So maybe we can
network.
just explain that a little bit further. So your other plans is like essential or classic is the 100% or the 200%. And then you have versions where it's delta version. So it means it's the same sort of plan, but you're limited to the hospitals that you can go to. The Smart series also has a limited network of hospitals that you can go to. And you're saying your one now also has that. Is it the same network as Delta and Smart, or is it a little bit different?
So it's the same as the Smart Hospital Network today.
Okay.
So for emergencies and those type of admissions, you can go to any type of hospital still. But just for your elective type of admissions, you need to go within this network. And the new plan series, the Smart Saver series, leverages the Smart Hospital Network.
And the saver, is that cash is that?
So that's exactly, yeah. So the saver alludes to the fact that we have a medical savings account built into this
Okay.
plan as well.
But no threshold.
No above threshold benefit,
Okay.
correct, yeah. So it's almost taking our existing Smart plan and adding to it a medical savings account and a few other benefits as well.
So you mentioned orthopedic with some families, or there are different, does that come out the savings portion, or is it a specific cover that you might have?
So that's a good question. So maybe let me explain like the overall structure of the plan. So firstly, like we have like a set of risk-based benefits. So that's like benefits that the medical scheme will cover by themselves. So it doesn't come out of your pocket as a member.
Okay.
It also doesn't impact your medical savings account. So the benefits that we built in there are those type of benefits that we know young families typically seek. So for example, going to the GP. So on both these plans, there's a network GP, a
Yes.
GP network that
Yeah.
you can visit. For example, on the classic plan, you pay 75 Rand to see one of the Smart GPs. You have an unlimited amount of GP visits that you can
That's
use.
amazing.
Yeah, it's imagine like paying 75 Rand to visit a GP.
Yeah.
And on the essential plan, it's 130 to pay a GP, which is still low if you think about it. And then similarly, like thinking about things like dentistry and optometry, which we know like every family uses as well, going for a checkup annually. So you can go for a dentist and an optometry checkup at the same like small type of co-payment of 75 Rand or like 130 Rand. Like it goes up like a little bit, but it's still like very small
Is
co-payment.
that also limited or a certain amount of times a year?
So just one. So that's almost
Okay.
like saying like typically like clinically, everyone should go for that type of checkup
Yes.
once a year. So it's aligned with that. So that's almost like the risk-based benefit or the medical scheme funded benefits that we have. And then we also have like an over-the-counter medicine benefits on both the options. I think it goes up to around like 900 Rand on the classic plan. So almost 1,000 Rand of over-the-counter medicine that you
Per
can
annum.
also, per annum, yes,
Okay.
yeah, that you can also purchase. And then also like on the classic plan, prescribed medicine as well. Like thinking if the GP have to prescribe medicine for you, that you also have access to like risk covered or medical scheme covered prescribed medicine. And all of these benefits are basically covered by the medical scheme. So it doesn't touch your savings. So that's almost like the standard type of benefits that we see young families typically require. But then on top of that, we also included a contraceptive benefit, which is quite a big thing for Discovery Health Medical Scheme. It's one of our first plans that we actually built in a contraceptive benefit. Our health R&D team was extremely excited about it. So there's also a contraceptive benefit. And then thinking just about like kids typically getting into injuries. We know how expensive it is, like taking them to casualty if one of these injuries happens. So both the plans also have an injury benefit for kids built in.
And that's built into the risk side. It's got nothing to do with the savings.
Completely,
Very
yeah.
good.
So it doesn't impact your savings at all. If you
Fantastic.
take your kid to the casualty unit, there's a co-payment of like 75 Rand or so, very low again. And
Do you
once
have to go to the network hospitals for that?
no, it's not
If it's a-
restricted to, yeah.
A
So,
broken arm or whatever, you can go to the nearest
And
one.
how many visits is that?
so there's one casualty visit. So we went through our data and like
Per,
typically
per child or per family?
per child,
Per
yes,
child,
yeah. So one per child, yeah. Based on the data, it's very infrequent that you almost like incur like that level of need that you actually need to go into casualty more than once. And obviously, like
So when you fall out the tree once, you don't want to fall out again.
hopefully lesson learned.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So all of those are almost like just like baked into the medical scheme
Fantastic.
benefits.
Okay.
And then after that, we have what we call the personal health fund, which is where you basically unlock additional savings by engaging in our personal health pathways program.
I think
So
we'd
we
like
can
to talk about
yeah.
that at another episode, the personal health fund as well.
Yes, yeah,
But
definitely. Yeah.
Just to sort of understand, so there used to be the smart plans,
Yes.
which is like for young people that don't really need to have a medical aid savings account. And then there was the classic saver series, which is having that medical aid pocket. And now you've kind of created a thing in the middle, so a little bit cheaper than the one above, but also a little bit better than the one below. And that's mainly for families. Is that
Exactly. In a nutshell, you've captured it quite well. Yeah.
And then and because you've got the cash element to it, you can go to any doctor, any healthcare professional using your cash.
Yes.
That's not covered on the risk benefit, right?
Yes, yeah, correct. So even on top of the personal health fund, that's where you almost like get the medical savings account.
Okay.
So we only start touching your medical savings account if the benefit isn't medical scheme funded, so those like benefits that we talked about, or if you don't have any money available in your personal health fund.
Okay.
So only then will we actually start paying out of your medical savings account, which is exactly like what the intention was of the plan, to almost like have this medical savings account layer for those type of events that are infrequent, like where
Yeah.
you need like specialist type of care.
And just a
things
last
like that.
question on pediatricians, is that covered in any way, or would that be from the savings account?
So you would have access to ped visits through your maternity benefit, and that's also like available standard across most of the Discovery Health medical scheme options. I think there's one or two that doesn't have access to it. But then also, like, if you want to use your medical savings account or your personal health fund, by all means, you can pay for any ped to visit them and for the consultation.
And does this savings carry over year by year?
Yes, yeah. So your MSA amount carries over. The
Same.
personal health fund doesn't, but
Yeah.
the medical savings account, it works like any other
Okay, brilliant.
medical savings account that we have.
Awesome.
Okay, so I'd like to chat
Thank
about
you so
the
much.
personal one
Yes.
next episode.
Awesome. Thanks
Thanks
so
so
much.
much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. If you have enjoyed this podcast or would like to subscribe, please visit our website www.growthfp.co.za. The information we have provided in this podcast is our personal opinion. For more detailed information, please discuss your financial situation with a financial planner.